I spent years wondering why I could never seem to get ahead financially. I was working, I was earning money, but at the end of every month, nothing left. No savings, no investments, no progress. And the frustrating part? I thought I was doing everything right. It wasn't until I started studying how money actually works that I realized the truth. I wasn't broke because I didn't earn enough. I was broke because of 5 specific mistakes I was making over and over again without even knowing it. In this video, I'm going to walk you through each one. What the mistake is, why so many of us make it, and exactly what I did to fix it. If you've ever felt like you're working hard but going nowhere financially, stay with me. Because at least one of these 5 mistakes is probably costing you right now. Before we get into the mistakes, I want to be clear about something. These aren't mistakes that only happen to people who don't know about money. Most of them happen to smart, hardworking people. People with good jobs, good intentions, and genuine desire to build a better life. The problem isn't intelligence. The problem is that nobody ever taught us the rules of the financial game. And when you don't know the rules, you lose, even when you're trying your best. So let's change that right now. 5 mistakes, 5 fixes. Let's get into it.
Mistake number 1, and this one affects almost everyone, is spending first and trying to save whatever is left over at the end of the month. Here's how it usually plays out. You get paid, you pay your bills, you buy groceries, you handle this expense and that expense. You treat yourself a little, because you work hard and you deserve it. And then, at the end of the month, you look at your account and there's nothing left to save. Sound familiar? The problem is the order. When you save what's left after spending, you will almost always spend everything first. Human nature guarantees it. The fix is simple but powerful. Pay yourself first. The moment your salary comes in, before you spend a single naira or CD on anything else, move a set amount directly into savings or investments. Treat it like a bill you owe yourself, non-negotiable. It doesn't have to be a large amount to start. Even 10% of whatever you earn changes the pattern completely. Because once that money is moved before you see it, you adjust your spending to whatever remains. And you'd be surprised how quickly you adapt. I started doing this, and within 3 months I had more saved than I had managed to save in the previous 2 years. Same income, different order. Mistake number 2 is one I made for years. Living with no financial safety net, no emergency fund, nothing set aside for when life happens unexpectedly. And life always happens unexpectedly. A medical bill, a car repair, a job loss, a family emergency, something always comes up. When you have no emergency fund, every unexpected expense becomes a financial crisis. You raid your savings, you borrow money, you go into debt, and then you spend months trying to recover, falling further behind on every financial goal you had. The fix is to build a dedicated emergency fund before you do anything else with your money. Not invested, not locked away. Liquid cash sitting in a savings account that you only touch for genuine emergencies. The target is 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. Start with 1 month, then build from there. Once you have that buffer, the financial anxiety drops. You stop making desperate decisions. You can actually think clearly about growing your money.
Mistake number 3 is one people don't like to talk about. Spending money to look successful instead of spending money to become successful. The expensive phone you don't really need. The car that's beyond your budget but looks impressive. The designer clothes, the luxury lifestyle on social media, all funded by money that could have been building real wealth. I'm not saying you can't enjoy your money. You absolutely should enjoy the fruits of your hard work. But there's a difference between enjoying what you can genuinely afford and performing wealth you don't actually have. Here's the truth that changed my thinking completely. Most truly wealthy people don't look wealthy. They drive reasonable cars, they live in modest homes, they wear simple clothes. Because they understand that every naira spent on looking rich is a naira that isn't growing for them. The fix is to define what wealthy actually means to you, not what it looks like to others. For me, wealthy means freedom. The ability to make choices without being controlled by financial pressure. Once I fixed that definition, the desire to impress others with money largely disappeared. Ask yourself honestly, how much of what you spend is genuinely making your life better, and how much of it is for the approval of other people? Mistake number 4 is one I held on to for far too long. Avoiding investing because I was afraid of losing money. The logic felt sound. If I don't invest, I can't lose money in the market. So I kept my money in a savings account. Safe, predictable, and quietly losing value every single year to inflation. That's the trap nobody warns you about. Not investing isn't safe. It's a slow, guaranteed loss. Because while your cash sits still, everything around it gets more expensive. Your money's purchasing power erodes year after year. Meanwhile, the stock market, despite all its volatility, has consistently grown over every significant long-term period in history. The people who stayed invested through the scary moments are the ones who build real wealth. The fix is to start small and start learning. You don't need a lot of money to begin investing. The goal of your first investment isn't to make a fortune, it's to get comfortable with the process. Start with companies you understand, businesses you use, products you believe in. Keep it simple, stay consistent, and let time do the heavy lifting.
Mistake number 5 is perhaps the most fundamental of all: having no specific financial goals. Most people have a vague sense that they want to save more or be better with money. But vague intentions produce vague results. Without a specific goal, you have no target to aim at. And without a target, every financial decision is made in isolation. Is this purchase okay? Should I save this month? Should I invest this? You're just guessing every time. I didn't have real financial goals for most of my 20s. I just hoped things would work out. They didn't, because hope is not a financial strategy. The fix is to set specific, measurable financial goals with real deadlines. Not, I want to save money. Instead, I want to save 3 months of expenses by December. Not, I want to invest. Instead, I want to put aside a fixed amount every month into my investment account starting this week. Write your goals down, put a number on them, put a date on them. Then reverse engineer what you need to do every month to hit them. When you have a clear goal, every financial decision becomes easier. You know exactly what you're working toward, and that clarity changes everything. So there they are, 5 money mistakes that kept me broke for longer than I care to admit. Spending before saving, living without an emergency fund, performing wealth instead of building it, avoiding investing out of fear, and drifting without clear financial goals. The good news is that every single one of these is fixable. None of them require a high income. None of them require a finance degree. They just require awareness and a decision to do things differently starting today. Pick one mistake from this list, just one, and commit to fixing it this week. One change, consistently applied, is more powerful than 10 changes you abandon after 3 days. If you found value in this video, subscribe to Wealth with Prosperity. I post new videos every week breaking down exactly how to build real wealth, step by step, no jargon, no shortcuts. Drop a comment below. Which of these 5 mistakes hit closest to home for you? I read every single comment, and your answer might just become the topic of my next video. See you in the next one.